When we take a look at the dynamics today, our labor force for farm workers is shrinking. And I'll even add to that, our resource of true operators of machines like this versus just a driver is also changing. We've got fewer and fewer true operators. And today, when you look at the success of any farming operation, it's all dependent upon how much we can seed or plant within that given window. So if I've got less people and I want to grow my farm, I've also got to look at technology out there that's going to allow me to seed and to plant that growth in acres, but also do it with less people.
Thanks, have a great day. Bye.
3 days, thousands of people, endless stories to be shared. Welcome to the Farm Show. A look behind the scenes and the stories from Ag in Motion, Western Canada's largest outdoor farm show. As the pressure ramps up on Canadian farms to produce more food with less people, the search for skilled operators is a big challenge for the industry. Workers operate grain carts, trucks, and tractors. Skilled transport drivers move grain and animals from the farm to elevators and ports. Farmers who come to Ag in Motion are thinking about who will operate equipment on the farm as much as what equipment they might buy.
You know, as the machine gets more sophisticated, it's tougher and tougher to find more and more skilled operators. So if we can take some of the skill requirements that are needed to run a machine without some of these automation features and give it to the automation, now we have the ability to maybe have newer employees, newer labor, newer folks in the cab that can do the performance of a pro with maybe not that much experience.
By and large, we're seeing farms many multiples of the size they used to be back in when I was a kid. And you see it here on the grounds. We're seeing now an 800 horsepower, 830 horsepower John Deere tractor. People would have laughed in my generation if you said there was going to be an 830 horsepower tractor, because the common tractor, even when I started farming, I had a 120 horsepower tractor and I was considered fairly decent size.
When you start looking at Western Canada here, for example, the cropping systems here have really evolved over the past 25 years. As we started getting more canola into our crop rotation in this part of the world, we also started changing our fertility. And with our fertility, we started changing our yields. And as the yield of canola continued to increase, like in 2002, when I first started working in the Prairie provinces, the Prairie provincial average bushels of canola per acre was only around 20. And here just a few years ago, we were pushing 40 to 45. So we've doubled the average of canola yield potentials. I come from a corn growing area back home in North Dakota. So for us, we have to have 1 unit of nitrogen to grow 1 bushel of corn. With canola, you need 3 units of nitrogen to grow a bushel of canola. So the fertilizer usage to grow a bushel is 3 times as much. So as we keep increasing those yield thresholds, and we're in an environment where we've got a very short growing season, so we're really focused in on single pass seeding, we have to increase the capacity of the machines to stay efficient, not only in the size of the tanks, but also in the speed and efficiency, and also the size in the field.
As equipment size and sophistication grows, success for any farm operation comes from the underlying need to run smoothly. Technology, whether it's automation or sensors or GPS, can vastly improve the production efficiency and productivity on Canadian operations. Farmers like Lorne McConaughey from Melfort, Saskatchewan, still need to think about where those smooth operators will come from.
Well, it's hard to believe. When I first got auto steering, I thought that was crazy, but I can foresee autonomous equipment working. I can actually see it, having traveled the world extensively, and we're sort of one of the leading places in the world in high technology. And you go to Germany, which I do many times, they were steps ahead of us, and it's going to come autonomous.
But are farmers nervous about having machines take over what operators have done manually for generations?
So combines is a classic case. It's in addition to GPS, it now self-sets. So we have an IntelliSense system for combines as well that will set all the machine settings on its own. And so you're given the keys to technically a robot, and there is apprehension, absolutely, regardless of age. And they'll watch that screen like a hawk for about 2 hours. Then they'll get tired, and then they'll just let the machine do its thing. And you know, at the end of the day, the machine gives good performance, or great performance from a capacity standpoint, excellent crop quality, and next to no crop losses. And then they believe. And then the next 2 days later, you go and say, okay, I want to turn that system off for you, just messing around with them. And they say, no, leave it on.
Like 20 years ago, auto steering. Whoever dreamt of auto steering, you know, you'd get it and do your best. And it saves us money, auto steering, plus the mental strain. So the future is satellite, high tech, and just a little on beyond my imagination. But the future young generation, the well-educated youth are going to do very well with high tech.
The most exciting technology is probably some of it would be like better grain handling, like just, I don't know, operator comfort. Like we're getting fewer people. People have to be able to sit in these machines for a long time.
Well, I don't know if farming will ever be easier, right? Because we're chasing the weather, we're chasing the market, and we got to chase lunch, right? When we're out in the field, we got to figure out how to feed our help, right? So I think it's allowed operators and owners and producers to maybe focus on other parts of the operation that can give them more benefits. Then in larger scale operations, you know that the owner may not actually be in the cab, but with some of the technology features of field ops gives us the ability to remotely view the display of the vehicle that's on our farm. So now we can help our operators be better at their job. So I think there's some interesting things that it's unlocked with producers.
Ag in Motion shares challenges similar to a farm operation. The logistics of getting a 100-acre farm show up and running requires many skilled equipment operators to maneuver equipment around the show site. John Lenore started working as an equipment operator at the first Ag in Motion show in 2015 and is one of the smoothest operators on the show site.
Well, I've always been a hands-on kind of guy, mechanical. I like working with the big equipment. I guess the biggest change that I've seen in the 10 years that Ag in Motion has been here is the size of the equipment. It just gets bigger and bigger every year, and more of a challenge to move around the site and get it in position. We unload the trucks and get the equipment into the booths and positioned where the exhibitors want it, and just help out with anything that they need us to do.
John started working as an operator with Ag in Motion through a family connection. He and his family live in Ontario and came out for the first show.
I like the equipment. I like Saskatchewan now. I love Saskatchewan. The challenge is interesting, but really it's the people. We have a great group of operators and other people involved with the show, and you know, we work very hard, but we also have a lot of fun. You know, when we had the opportunity to come out here in 2015, I thought, well, this will be just a great 2-week adventure, and then we'll move on to something else in life, but we keep coming back.
John is a wonderful man, a hilarious guy. When he's here working, he not only is he a great worker and is he dedicated to this show, but also he adds some humor and he gets the rest of the team relaxed. They enjoy being around him.
I guess the biggest pride is that the exhibitors are happy and they keep coming back. And so now we've got to know a lot of exhibitors that are still here from first year, 10 years ago. And you know, they see us, they know us, they ask for certain people to come and do certain jobs. And it's kind of rewarding that you know that you hope you're doing a good job, and you seem to be, because the exhibitors, they ask for you.
Once John and the other farm show operators get everything in position, exhibitors create safe spaces for farm families to explore these massive machines. Redhead Equipment, a longtime exhibitor at Ag in Motion, is making that exploration personal with a fun trucking challenge at this year's show.
So the Smooth Operator Challenge is a really unique competition that Redhead is putting on here on 7th Street amongst all the other demos. and it's an opportunity for farmers to see who can back up the best. So there's going to be a little target on a string, and you're going to end up putting that target right into a cup, and we'll see how many guys can actually line up just right.
So this kind of started off as a YouTube phenomenon among truck drivers. The idea is you attach a tea bag to the truck, let it dangle from somewhere on the side, and then you back up the truck and trailer accurately enough that you can position the tea bag above a teacup, and then you dump the air suspension on the truck and allow the tea bag to drop into the truck. Kind of a skills challenge for drivers.
If a skills challenge like this seems a bit silly, in truth, it's an excellent way to learn to handle one of the largest trucks on the road and earn the bragging rights that come with it.
A lot of people don't realize how much different it is driving an articulated truck. It's a big deal. You see them go down the road and they're driving effortlessly, but when you go from driving a regular car or a regular pickup truck into an articulated vehicle like that, it is surprising just how many more skills you need. Your whole attitude toward driving needs to change because you can't stop on a dime. You need lots of room to maneuver this truck, and you need to be proficient at backing. If you're backing a single trailer, then steer left to go right, steer right to go left.
Last year at Ag in Motion, Scott Garvey and Robin Booker, two competitive senior editors with Glacier Farm Media, participated in a head-to-head equipment challenge with skid steers and excavators. This year, it's bigger equipment and larger bragging rights. Let's see who can post the fastest time in the Smooth Operator Challenge.
Hi, I'm Robin.
Hey Robin, I'm Nathan, Redhead Equipment.
Okay.
You're gonna try in the Smooth Operator Challenge today?
Absolutely, I feel pretty confident about this.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, hop in. When you're in here, what you're gonna be doing is that you are gonna pop in the air brake to make it so that you can put it in reverse. Reverse is up here, neutral, drive. But for now, reverse. Once you've dumped the tea bag, you'll put it in drive. How you will dump the tea bag when you get to it and you have it in alignment and you think you got it in the cup, you're just gonna pop this up like so, and it will drop the suspension into place.
Gotcha.
You ready to go?
I'm ready.
As Robin is up first for the Smooth Operator Challenge, Scott will provide the color commentary.
Oh, I just heard the brakes release. He's got an automatic transmission and an auto shift in there, so he doesn't have to worry about shifting gears. He's got to get that tea bag right above the cup. The challenge is your depth perception here. You're looking through the mirror, trying to position that bag correctly. I think he's got it.
It's not in there.
Nope. We missed it. He's a little on the inside. Rimmed around the cup and went on the other side. Okay, he might have the suspension too low here. There he goes.
There it is. 131.
Okay, you've got to hit that dead on, because as you saw, if he doesn't, this flips around, right? But this tea bag's hanging low to some of the challenges where it's above the cup, and then you drop it in. But if it's above, then you've got the wind is kind of blowing you around. In this case, he can kind of rim up to it and flip it in.
Now it's Scott's turn to strut his stuff. Robin posted a time of 1 minute and 31 seconds, so Scott has his work cut out for him to prove just how smooth his driving can be.
Do a little show around so you know how to operate the truck?
Yep.
Okay, let's do that, and then we'll come back and start from the top.
Unfortunately for Scott, Robin is not above some shenanigans to undermine his competition.
Strange how he has to back up so far compared to me. Oh. I wonder if he knows what's happened yet. Well, I moved the pail on the way out, eh? Okay, you gonna try it again? I don't know if you should get 2 tries. Might as well put training wheels on this thing for him. Oh, he's getting it. Oh! That's a heartbreaker. Oh, you're too far out. You just got to get it in a bit more, Scott. Oh, I didn't get all this extra fiddle in. Mine was like, you know, pretty much straight in. Oh, you got it! Hey. Not bad. Yeah. Congratulations. I think you have 443. I think, what was mine again?
Like he had 135 was his time.
Oh, what was mine?
131.
Oh.
4 seconds.
Well, you know, why does mine say 443? I started when I hit go when it started.
The second time after we
the second time. Okay. Okay. 2 trials, that's okay, and kind of helps you out at the end there too. But better luck next year, you know.
The hardest part is getting that depth perception, because you're looking in the mirror at something down way behind you. And then of course, tea bags are kind of light, and if it's breezy, you might be in the right position, but the darn wind takes your tea bag and flutters it around. So you got to kind of hold your mouth right, hope the wind is right, and then dunk it.
Did you see how I moved the pail on you? The first round? Oh.
That's why it was cockeyed.
Yeah.
I had to go back and straighten out.
Yeah, because I pulled the pail way out for you.
Yeah. That's why I had to straighten it out.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, it's your truck. You're in charge of what's happening around it. You got to be aware, right? Yeah. Okay, thanks, Scott.
When we started working with Redhead on this competition, I thought they really bought into it right away. They loved the idea. It was unique, it was different. So I got to see just a little bit. I didn't see anybody successful, so I hope there is a bunch of people successful, but I did see people in the cab really giving her a go. I just heard that in the Smooth Operator Challenge, Robin Booker sabotaged that competition. And that to me is fantastic. And I'm sorry, Scott.
Fantastic. A real family, eh?
A real family, yep.
Okay, Nathan, today the Smooth Operator Challenge there, the tea bag dunk, as it kind of was going around the internet. How has that been received by farmers?
It's been really received well. A lot of people were a little apprehensive, so we've had to go and kind of fish people out of the crowds. People are walking by, they're interested, and they're a little concerned that the truck's so big that they can't do it. But we've had, you know, pretty young kids, like 16-year-olds, up to grandmas, to everybody in between do it. And not everybody's been successful, but for the most part, most have gotten the tea bag in the teacup. So it makes kind of shows off the M drive, how easy it is to operate.
Right, and the M drive is an auto shift transmission proprietary to Mack.
That's right.
And a lot of generation of drivers from my generation, when they think of auto shifts, they think of jerkiness, and that would have made this a pretty impossible challenge. But the M drive didn't do that. It let us feather as if we had a manual and a clutch, right?
That's right, and it's because it does actually have a clutch. It's just the computer and the way that the transmission is made, it's working that clutch for you instead of you having to, you know, put your left foot into it all the time, and then you let it out and you're 2 feet back, and it's making it so you can go in inch increments and really adjust how far forward and back you would be.
And the auto shift is becoming almost the industry standard.
That's correct.
Yeah. How long is this trailer?
This trailer is 45 feet.
45?
Yeah, tandem hopper, platinum grain trailer is what it is.
Yeah, so it's typical rig that a farm would have.
Yeah, almost every farm kind of has something like it.
Canadian farms have a variety of equipment, sometimes requiring different kinds of operators. Farm machinery and technology, and the innovations that drive them forward, must evolve to meet a wide variety of needs on the farm.
So it's been kind of neat in my career to see that transition from, technology as a complement to technology as a core foundation of the machine. The producers are very smart, very in tune to what their machines can do, and they utilize a lot of those features.
As machines get bigger, they oftentimes get more complex. And today, when you take a look at an air seeder from 25 years ago versus the ones that you see here at the show, there's a world of changes that's happened to them.
Farming today, the scale has grown so much over the last few decades that material handling is now a big deal for farmers, because what you maybe have picked up before, when in my generation picked up in a 5-gallon pail or on a shovel, we're dealing on a totally different scale now. So we need equipment that's going to handle like a 1,000-pound tote of seed or even engine oil. For some of the really big farmers, they won't be buying their engine oil in quart cans like you buy at the gas station. So it's really important now to have machines on the farm that can handle those big tasks. That it almost got into sort of the same sort of scale that commercial companies might want to use, or construction companies, with handling things on the farm now. And of course, livestock farmers, round bale is now the method of choice for the vast majority. And you simply can't lift those up. You're going to need something to handle those.
Not every operator that's critical to the farm is running equipment. Some, like family members or hired employees, help keep everything else running on the farm. It's a team effort, and everyone has a role.
Well, our farm manager, who is one of the major owners of the operation, I really appreciate working with him. He's very low-key, but is mentally with it all the time. He wants his employees, the majority of them long-term, the longest employee with their farming operations over 30 years, and I would say the average is 10 to 15 years of our employees. We treat them well, pay them well, and we're just like a happy family, but we do work hard when we got it and socialize when otherwise.
I farm with my brother and father and now my kids, multi-generational farm. I'm the 4th generation in Canada. My daughter's the 5th generation. I've got other kids that are all looking at coming back to the farm.
And who does Jared name as the one person who keeps their farm operating?
Oh, probably my wife. Like, a farm runs on its stomach, and that's how it works. You got to keep everybody happy. Everyone's got to stay together and be the team.
My wife was very involved with the cattle operation, and so she was very active in participating in that aspect of it, and of course very supportive in others, and being as a support role to the field operations. She never engaged in field operations, but certainly helped out, did lots of parts runs. I was the only operator on my farm. It was one of those farms that you didn't have a lot of family to draw into.
When farmers face labor shortages on the farm and they can't draw on family connections, the search for employees expands off-farm. For anyone wanting an attractive combination of technology, growth, and lifestyle, farming can be a great fit. Just ask James Lenore, who grew up in Toronto and fell in love with agriculture at Ag in Motion.
James, when he was 15, he first came out here to help us as a summer student, and at the very first show. And he stayed here and he's helped us every year.
My wife was president of one of the other divisions in the Glacier Farm umbrella, and they were short-staffed, and so jokingly we said, well, we should come out and help, or James should come out and help.
And so I said, well, I've got a big strapping young boy who knows how to operate a tractor. I can send him out. And then they said, well, he's too young. So my husband said, I'll drive out with him. I'm an equipment operator. We'll both come. So it was kind of 2 for 1.
I mean, I think I knew right away that it was going to be something I'd remember forever, but it wasn't until the second year when I stayed on and worked here for the whole summer, not just the few weeks around the show, that I knew that I wanted to go to ag college and make agriculture career. And it wasn't until a few years into school that I realized I didn't want to do sales and I didn't want to promote products and I wanted to be a farmer. 3 of my best friends that I went to university with and actually lived with during school, I met here in the first year of the show when we were building a fence together. And I've met neighbors here at the show and my current employer. I've met all through Ag in Motion.
It is a challenge to get into farming for young people today if they haven't grown up and they can't take over a family farm. Someone who wants to get into the industry today is probably going to have to start off renting land, maybe buying 1 or 2 quarters where that's available and renting from others. But the financial aspect is a massive challenge, because right now we're looking at tractors and high horsepower tractors and combines exceeding $1 million. But it's not necessary to go and start off. You wouldn't start off as a 16-year-old buying a Mercedes-Benz AMG. The same, applies to farmers.
Growing up with Ag in Motion, James is now attending the show as a full-time farmer, looking for information to make crop and agronomic decisions.
I work for a farm just neighboring the show here. We actually help the show with seeding and looking after their field of excellence. And then I rent some land from a guy and I farm a few hundred acres on my own. Especially in Western Canada here, we don't have many, if any, farm shows equivalent to this where you can actually go and see the varieties in the field. You can go on a crop tour and see the different fertilizers being used and the different salinity trials that we're doing now and whatever else is going on. Like today for myself, I'm looking for a new oat variety next year, so I'm walking around looking at all the different oat varieties at all the different booths and trying to figure out which one I want to grow next year.
So I have loved John and Carol and James Lenore coming to this show since year 1. It's been fantastic to get to know that family. It's been fun watching a city boy turn into a heck of a good farmer.
When James was growing up, I always said to him, when you go to work, you've got to find something that you're passionate about and that you care about, because you're going to be working at it for a long time. So he's came out here, started working on the farm shows, came to university at University of Saskatchewan and never went back.
I took ag business with a minor in field crop production, and it made me realize my love for growing things and how you can take a seed, plant it in the ground, and it can become a beautiful plant and a crop, and how many stages there are to growing it and how much there actually is to learn about patience just from farming. And as I always say to people who ask me if I like my job, I wake up every morning and I want to go to work. I want to go farming. I want to sit in a combine or work in a field or go crop scouting. There's no mornings I don't want to go to work. I really like Saskatchewan. It's just everybody you meet is nice. As people hold the door open for you here. Just a great group of people who are friendly, funny, and just a great place to live. I like all the people that come out here and work it, and we all get along really well, and it's just a lot of fun. Being a part of trade shows is a lot of fun. You take something, it's kind of like farming. You take something from bare bones, nothing, and you build it up to this amazing show behind us, and then you reap the rewards.
With another year of Ag in Motion coming to a close, where farmers gathered in Saskatchewan to be part of the buzz of an exciting agriculture industry that's growing at a rapid pace, it's only natural to ask Rob O'Connor, Ag in Motion show director, who he thinks is the smoothest operator around.
At Ag in Motion, I think it would be difficult for me to say who the smoothest operator is, but it would be a toss-up between John Lenore and David Rose.
What?
Those two guys, and I'm not talking about how they operate equipment, but when we're at the end of the day and we're talking about how things went over a cold beverage, they have the best stories.
And like Jared before him, we asked Rob to name the smoothest operator on his Saskatchewan livestock farm.
The smoothest operator on my farm, that's a good question. Whether I said it was my wife or my daughters, I'm not sure if I would survive by telling you which one's better than the others.